are getting many persons worried about what is really happening, Prince. But let's take security, for instance. What we have heard, especially in Benue, Plateau. Plateau is a state governed by the PDP, Governor Kelemu Twang. But it's not just about the party, actually. But it's worrisome. Less than a week ago, or just like a week ago, like scores of people were killed, as high as 60, some reported 80, and just on Sunday night. Newspaper reports have it, there is another carnage, and this morning, almost 50 people have been reportedly killed again. What do you think is happening in Nigeria? That's what the reason I'm asking you this is, Prince. People have always mentioned politics to be at the heart of this thing. Do you still think this is politics? This carnage we are witnessing?
It's quite unfortunate and very, very sad that this kind of a thing is happening in Nigeria. And I pray to God, that the souls of the departed rest in perfect peace. This is not a good thing in Nigeria. It doesn't give us any good name. It's ungodly. And, I'm just short of word to describe this bad incident in Nigeria about security. And people are saying, yes, it's political. I will disagree. I will disagree in the sense that if you look at what is happening generally in Nigeria, the banditry, the terrorism, the killings here and there, it's an indication that we don't have good security apparatus. It's an indication that when we talk about security, it is not being taken seriously by the government. Whereas one of the cardinal duty of any serious administration is to protect life and property of the citizen. The big question is, this is one of the promises made by APC. Not even now, when Bola Ahmed Tinubu is the president. This was the promise made during Buhari era, that they were going to wipe off terrorism, killings, banditry, and everything in Nigeria within a year. And people trusted Buhari simply because they thought, as a former military man, he has a strategy through which he wanted to prosecute that promise. But what did we get? Nothing. Instead, there were escalation of crisis here and there. At a point in time, I remember vividly that government of Buhari requested for a loan of 326 billion naira to prosecute war against terrorism. And they said after 3 months, we are not going to hear anything about terrorism again in this country. After 6 months, when Lai Mohammed was was asked the question, what has happened to the promise they made, the answer he gave journalists then was that Boko Haram had been technically defeated. Then you start wondering what is technicality in Boko Haram that terrorizing people that have taken over many local governments in this country. It's not different from what is happening in Plateau State now. This is not the first time that there will be killings in Plateau State. It's not the first, it's not the second. I will pray it is going to be the last with this last incident. The big question is, what has been the role of our security, of the security people, the army, the police, the SSS, in forestalling this crisis from happening? So it's a big question on the money we spend on security. It's a big question on the equipment that these security people have. It's a big question on the government of the day. So it's not even about Plateau State alone. It happens virtually everywhere in the country. It's only the number of killings in Plateau that is so outrageous that we are hearing of it. We hear of people being kidnapped on a daily basis. Recently, a governor cried out that about 3 local governments have been taken over by terrorists. Where are we in terms of security? And again, If people are not secured, if people cannot entrust their life in the hands of this government, you start wondering, why do they keep voting for them?
All right, Prince.
In a civilized country, the question is, a government that is not able to protect my life, protect my property, is not worth being elected. But what do we see in Nigeria? Different.
All right, Prince. Like you have said, in your opinion, you believe it's not political. But let's look at it from this angle. As Nigerians, look at Plateau State. It's quite worrisome. Why we are focusing on Plateau State is because we had this happen just about a week ago. And again, it has happened. Even after all the promises that it will not happen again, it keeps happening in Plateau State. So if you say you don't think it's political, as Nigerians, sincerely, there are only two ways to this. It's either political, one, or the security agencies, we can say it's a case of gross inefficiency on the part of security agencies. We spoke to a security expert on this program last week, and he believes otherwise. He says it is political. He says the security agencies are actually efficient, that they are trained, they are smart, they can deliver. So the security experts believe that this is political. You are saying you think it's not political. So what should we take? Because it's one of two things. It's either the killings are political or security agencies are grossly inefficient. So what's the case here? Let us not play politics with the lives of people. We have innocent people losing their lives here. So coming back to security, in the case of Plateau State, what do you think the governor can do differently? Because if something happens, he came out to say it shouldn't happen again, and it is happening again. What exactly is the problem? If it is not politics, and it is not inefficiency on the part of our security agencies, then what do you think is the problem at this time?
One thing I want you to hold is that even as a governor, you don't have control over the police in your state. Police commissioners, police hierarchy in any state obeys the last order. And where does the last order come from? It comes from the Inspector General of Police. If you have the military base in your state, you don't have any control over them as a governor. They obey the last order. And where does the last order come from? It comes from Chief of Army Staff. If you are talking of security nationally, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu is the commander-in-chief of all these armed forces. When there is security breach anywhere, either political, either personal, either ethnical, either whatever, it is the duty of the security people to ensure that they nip it in the bud, or they stop it, or it does not happen, and if it happens, they are able to overcome it. It's like a workman blaming his tools, or you are passing the buck to another, the buck of your failure, to the politicians. In what way will you now say all these killings are political? Even if they are political, it's your job. It's like there is fire somewhere, and you are expecting the firemen or the fire brigade to come and put it off, and you are still blaming somebody for the fire that is happening. Whatever is happening, whatever is the cause, we are not looking at the cause now. We are looking at the end product of whatever might be the problem of politicians. If there is killing, is an indictment on the security people, and is an evidence that is inefficient in doing their job. It's as simple as it's logical.
All right, Prince. All right, Prince. So if the security agencies are inefficient at this point, what do you think the governor of Plateau State can do at this point? What do you think is the way forward?
The way forward is for him to appeal to the president, is for him to call on the IGs, for him to call on the army chief to come and assist him in the state and put an end to all these killings. That's it.
So are you open to a state of emergency being declared in Plateau State?
No. Which state of emergency? Over what? Which state of emergency? If you are declaring a state of emergency, is the governor the cause, or the person that can bring solution to it? Is the government. It's the federal government. That's the analysis I made at the first instance. That you are talking of security issue, the whole thing rests on the hands of the federal government. So why do you now declare a state of emergency? Over what?
No, of course, over killings. No, if people are losing their lives, the federal government might say, we have good grounds to declare a state of emergency in Plateau State.
Over over your failure. You declare a state of emergency in a state that you are practically has nothing to do, or practically nothing they can do to stop these killings, except you.
All right.
No, I don't think it's logical.
Right. Let's, since we are talking about the state of the nation, away from insecurity, which is troubling, actually troubling. There has been a stalemate at the local government councils in your home state. Here in Osun State, you are from Obokun local government, across all the 30 local government areas. As if you have people talk now, have conversations around there, they call some local government chairman the yes or no local government chairman. They call some the sit-at-home local government chairman. Those are the ones elected by the last OCA conducted election, and all of them of the PDP that governor have told to stay away from the local councils for security reasons. But then we understand there are moves by these new local government chairmen of the PDP approach the court to seek another of mandamus and all of these things. As a stakeholder in the state, they almost, if not all, activities at the local councils have been paralyzed, except the ones that are that can be done online. Actually, my question is this: are you embarrassed with the level of things? You are a grassroots politicians, so you know what I'm talking about. You are not too far from home. You have the stake here. Are you embarrassed that this is what has become of the local councils in your state? And the stakeholders here is the PDP, of which you are part of, and the APC.
If you know the plan of APC, you will give kudos to PDP for the way they are handling issues.
How do you mean? What's the plan?
The secretary, the national secretary of the party, who happens to come from Osun State, stated clearly that they would be happy to have a state of emergency in Osun. And their plans are is to foment trouble, ensure that one or two people lose their life, and call on the president to declare a state of emergency. But in a PDP wisdom, in the wisdom of Senator Ademola Adeleke, we will not allow that to happen. Easy does it. We believe in the rule of law. Rather than engage them physically, we would rather go to the court and seek correct interpretation of all the rulings and ensure that our elected local government chairman goes to the office without any bloodshed. So you should give credit to PDP, because APC that is exhibiting rascality now by claiming, they are the authentic, they are going to the local government secretariats, you will know that they have their mission. It takes two to tango. We will not allow a breakdown of law and order. And just like the governor said, it is not worth being in office if people lose their lives, over politics or over policy or issues. I would rather ask PDP members or the elected chairman to steer clear. Let them continue to display their rascality and their whatever at the premises of the local government. It's a matter of time. It's a difficult time. I understand that nothing is happening at the local government. But it's better than to confront this APC the way they want and, shed blood in Osun State. So we are taking things easy, and by the special grace of God, we are going to get there.
All right, Prince. You said you believe in the rule of law. On this program, I asked the Algon chairman, who's a member of your party, a specific question, and I just wanted answers. As a journalist, I am neither in support of the APC or the PDP. I'm not interested in any of the parties. I deal with facts here, talking about the stalemate in the local government in Osun State. So far, reports have it that elections were conducted and winners were announced without election results being released. It doesn't happen anywhere in the world, in any sane democratic setting. So I asked that question. Where are the results of the local government election that brought your men into power as local government chairman? I asked that direct question and I did not get any answer. What do you have to say to that?
I will answer you. In my local government, for instance, it wasn't reported I'm an eyewitness. Immediately after casting our election in my polling unit, and the electoral officers, took the ballot papers and everything, while they were leaving to collect other results, in other words, the police that was sent by APC, but that was sent by the Inspector General of Police, that were backed up by the Commissioner of Police, stopped the vehicle and said, we ordered an election not to be conducted, and you people are conducting an election. As a result, we are seizing all these ballot papers and everything, and we are taking you right to Osogbo. It was a strange development for a police that was not involved in an election, an election that was extremely too peaceful. Nobody raised a finger about the outcome, about our election. For the police to now say, yes, we are taking you to Osogbo, you are under arrest for flouting an order of our Inspector General of Police that there should not be an election in Osho State. It doesn't happen only in my polling unit or in my town in Ibokun. It happened, in certain areas of the state. And by the time that information got round, we had to devise a system through which we can pass through the bush and everywhere to collect the results. And what happened? Before you know what it was next, the police had already taken over the OCEC office, believing that bring all the results, bring all the ballot papers. It is here that we are going to see if we cannot get them at the local government, even though they succeeded in some. It was at that stage that they had to relocate to another place to take these results, count them, write the result, and the results are there. If you want to know the results as you are asking now, you can contact Hashim, who happens to be the chairman of OCA.
It's the same, Prince, the same question my colleague asked, in which he repeatedly asked that day, is the same, almost the same answer you are giving now, to say contact OCA, and they will be the one. But I wish you had more time, but we don't. Two questions for me there. You said you had to devise a means and to find a way of collating the result. Who are the we? It's supposed to be the business of OCEC. Is PDP part of the umpire?
I'm a politician. I belong to PDP. I'm involved in the election.
Are you part of the umpire?
Oh, I'm not part of the umpire.
So what's the business of the PDP in collation?
Is PDP not in government? Are we not concerned? Are we not the one conducting the election? Is it not a state election?
No, it's not PDP that's conducting the election. It's OCEC.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
It's not the party.
As a state, we are in the states. Whether you like it or not, is the state government that conducts that election.
I understand. What I'm saying is this. You say we are to, meaning the PDP and OCEC had to find a means of collating, passing through the bush. That's the statement you made.
When I say we,
yeah.
I am a participant in that election who should know the outcome of the election and what goes on.
Lastly, all right. Lastly, for me, you said.
When I say we, I'm talking as a stakeholder.
I understand.
Yes.
Lastly, you said you were on ground on that day of election, and after you casted your vote, and getting ready for other parts of the polling unit. I'd like to ask you, since you were on ground, what was the result of your own polling unit? What was returned in your own polling unit?
Oh, my own polling unit, we had PDP had 100, APC had 2, Labour had 3.
100 for PDP, 2 for APC, 3 for Labour.
Yes.
All right.
I think
in my we need to go now. It's always a pleasure, and time is always running fast. Whenever we are speaking with Prince Odeyemi, he is the former Deputy National Publicity Secretary for the PDP, and of course, chieftain of the Osun PDP as well. Thank you for your time, and it's good to see you again.
Thank you very much. I appreciate this opportunity. I'm always available. Anytime you want me, I'll be available. Thank you very much.
We have to go. Femi Ojo is my name. We make a return tomorrow morning for the midweek edition of this program. You can catch a recap on our YouTube channel at Western Spring TV. God bless Nigeria.
Yeah, and of course, thank you, Prince, for that background story you gave. I mean, that was exactly, I just wanted to hear something, and it sounded quite convincing. He was an eyewitness, he was there, and was also able to give us figures from his own polling units. That was all I needed to hear, because so far we've been hearing different stories. So I appreciate that background story you gave. Thank you once again for joining us on Morning Spring on Western Spring Television today. Let's do this again tomorrow as we bring you a fresh edition of the program. Emeka Daniel is my name. Good morning and have a wonderful day.